Hi Anti-Society, welcome back to the Antisocial Planet and to some more Tower of God webtoon. I'm not stressed, you're not stressed, everything is fine. Definitely not thinking about how White is just in a room full of souls that could only turn out well. There's nothing terrible that could possibly happen because that's where he is right now. Nothing to worry about. This is fine. Like, I don't know why you're freaking out. If we got a ladle, maybe? I hope nobody puts that in his possession. Or we break the spell? Can we do that? Okay. We're being a little bit more delicate. We're like, it probably wouldn't work if I just try to break it, so we'll just put a different spell on top. We'll just cover it and pretend it's not there. True. He's also very good at the whole, like, souls magic thing. That is sort of his shtick. Cool shot, but also, you make me worried. Hello? Oh. Is that good? Bad? It seems like a bad time. Not giving me a lot to work with. Is that on purpose? Are you being elusive so that I'll panic? Yes, we also had this. It's complicated. He's more of a third party, middle of the aisle. I bet it would be like, there would be a part of Bomb that would be interested in learning from Urek, right? Like, beyond what we've already set out to do. But because Urek has so much power, he's also, like, outside of some of the main, like, system, right? A bunch of this conflict has been, like, Jihad versus Foog, right? And, like, the families and all of that, right? So it would still be somewhat, I guess, like, interesting to see what he could learn or have that support. But I also feel like he's grown so much throughout this season that him doing stuff on his own or like with the group of people that he's met along the way that they've made their own group from is something that he feels more confident in than he would have before. I think earlier on in the season he might have just hopped groups, right, from like Foog to someone else, whereas like now I think he is more knowledgeable about how there is a bunch of things not working right in the tower and like how all these groups are put together and the people that are in charge of them. And I think it makes him more interested in doing his own thing, especially since people keep like trying to manipulate and exploit him, right? Everyone wants to use him as like a glorified weapon, and he's, or you could treat me like a person, right? Which is why he's friends with people like Kun, right? Kun knows him as like the person that he met earlier on who didn't have any idea what was going on. It was just like a young kid, right? Who happened to have an abnormal talent, right? So it's different when he's interacting with people from earlier on as opposed to now, because a lot of people will see him as like Violet, right? Like even Urek didn't know anything about him until he was like Violet, right? So that's like a different perception of him than people earlier on who like don't necessarily see him as like, I'm not saying that Urek doesn't seem to see like some of his potential. It's a little bit different for people to see his potential post Violet in Foog as opposed to like people who are like, wow, this sweet child doesn't know anything about what's going on, needs someone to protect him or he's not going to make it. Also, are we good? Didn't we take part of the like shard? I'm worried about us, more people being possessed. Hope nothing bad happened to them. Why? Okay, I do a little bit go out of my way to hope bad things happen to Rachel, but like, I don't have to hope good things either. Are we getting filled in? We did take her with us. She's poisoned. Oh no. The amount that doesn't stress me. I'm justice for Dan. I'm gonna be upset about Bomb and everything that happened at the end of season 1 forever. But I remember, I can see clearly in my brain the face that she made as she attacked Dan, and I will never ever forget it. You know what? Count your days. I don't even want to talk about more recent events. Okay, if anyone utters anything to me about Prince, I can't even talk about my character. I'm in denial. Firmly in denial. They're fine. They're on a vacation somewhere. They're enjoying life. How are we doing, Joe? Did we catch him? That doesn't look like you caught him. Leave it to me. The Kulik swirls. Anyway, is he good enough, all things considered? I love how Beta's just sat on the ground. Look at this happy little face. We love it. I just love that in all of the madness that's happening, Kun is like, hang on, I gotta clip my hair back. I gotta get my bobby pins situated before I support him. You know what? He deserves it. I guess we haven't seen him since we first got separated. Did we briefly see each other? We've been separated since like the beginning of Floor of Death, right? He's, oops, sorry, couldn't pick up your calls. I love to just, so what even happened? Oh, we beat him. It's fine. The whole thing that we were like worried about that might get us all killed, sorted. Oh yeah, we also, there's that as well. Don't worry about it. We were with Team Sweet and Sour last time. Just them all being like shock. And then he's just, hello. I don't know if the autograph is what's making them shocked. I mean, he does call people baby, which from the discussions I've had, the translation is more like child. It's more like you would call someone like boy as opposed to like endearment of any kind, but it does translate weird. And then we did drug someone with a syringe without their knowledge. And all of this is because apparently no is not a word that he can fully comprehend when he's convinced himself he is in love. I can understand why there might be some rumors. I understand why it might be perceived in a certain way. Oh yeah, and we showed up with the ankle bracelet as well. So I can understand why the rumor mill might miss some of the details that explain some of what's going on. I love how they're all just concerned though. Like, out of all of the danger that Bomb could have been in, they're like, no, in a fight, like, Bomb's probably fine. But he's also trusting and a little bit naive still. So what are your intentions? Oh yes, he did ask you to run away and join his group. But he's just, wait, that's not what I meant. Oh yeah, also Lady Yuri is around. I love it just, anyway, don't worry about it. I should go somewhere else, like I should be taking care of some other things. I'm busy. Look at my wrist, I have to go. Are we breaking the fourth wall a little bit? But yes, the fact that we have one of the princesses and also Urek in the same panel is like a lot anyway. And they're just like bickering. That like bead of sweat of, could you just not get in the middle of something extremely complicated for once? Could we just go somewhere and follow the plan and not have some kind of godlike entity join into the storyline just once, just for one time? Wow, we're breaking the fourth wall quite a bit. We're like, oh, the power scaling went up. I already picked up on that. I was paying attention. Look at Dorsey's, hello. Why are we having a meeting without me? Oh yeah, she's poisoned. Yeah. Don't y'all have a whole like competition thing going on right now? Oh, okay. We gave her a pillow. That's hospitality. I would have just dumped her. I would have left her, I'm gonna be honest. I would have been like, you know what, Beta? We can't carry everybody. I can't ask that of you. It's a whole thing. Snorlax? Are they allowed to do that? Is their copyright? Fitting, though. I don't know if I've ever seen her awake. Them awake? Shouldn't be assuming genders. I don't know. The tower is weird, and there's lots of different species and things. We gave her a pillow we bought her sometime. What else could we possibly do? Oh no, her life's in danger. It's crazy. The fact that Kun is like trying to help at all is like a lot. And I think it's probably just because he's like, Mom will probably be mad at me if I don't do something. Honestly, that would probably be me if I was actually in this situation. I'd be like, fine, but only because the cinnamon bun would be upset. We got the ladle. Look at Kun's face. Like, he's so done. He's, no. There are so many things going on. That is ominous because I can see your actual eye. You're telling the truth. Probably. Symbolism. How we doing? So look, just like the character design is so good. Anyway, I don't need another cosplay idea. We don't have to be calling people names, okay? And you lost, as we all knew you would. Thank you. Thank you for like me and Agni being on the same page of, yeah, and this is the ramifications of your actions. I guess some of it too is it wasn't just that he was like possessed or like he had this voice or like entity in his head. It was like actually convincing him to behave in certain ways, right? There is a certain amount of manipulation that was actually done to Joe, so it's not like he's gonna be suddenly he's back to being who he was before. Like, we're talking about years of someone manipulating his thoughts and how he feels in a way that he could not escape, right? So we might have to deconstruct some things. Are there therapists in the tower? I feel like there should be so many therapists. I feel like you could make a killing as a therapist. Not a trauma in this place. Good luck with that. He can see into the future. Dang. Look at his little face of just being like, I'm so done with this. Sit down. Yeah, okay. He did do a lot of terrible things, to be fair. He's not necessarily a good person, but like therapy maybe. Yeah, I guess we do have our own agenda. That's like such an interesting thing though, of being like waking up, stop living in like a fantasy or like begrudgingly sticking to like this idea that clearly isn't going to work. I think it goes along with some of the belief systems that we've been dealing with on the floor of death as well, right? Like people being like, a savior will come, right? Like we just have to wait and someone else will fix all of these problems, or being like, oh, if I can just be ruthless, if I can do whatever it takes, then I can leave this place, right? Like I can be a god, right? In the case of Joe, and him being like, Hockney showing up being like, you don't have that power anymore. You're just like everyone else. And this is what it felt like to all those people that you tortured and did all these terrible things to, right? This is how they felt. This is how powerless they felt in the face of the power that you had, right? And now you get to be on the same level as them. So what you need to do is give up on this delusion of grandeur and look at reality, see what's actually, like, what you're actually capable of. Doesn't mean give up and do nothing. It means stop thinking that something grand will shift your reality, right? Oh my gosh, you're still like around. You're still moving. But also, will we be able to be in control of any of these people that might have a little bit of a vendetta, maybe? Do you not? Or are you just, I don't know, stop being like a master, right? Being like, oh, if I don't remember, then people won't expect anything of me. Like, I won't have to go back to being like master of this place, in charge of this place, in charge of these people. Because we know that he remembers, because he was like, I was fighting Urek before this, what's going on? Yeah, might be easier to just pretend to be like, oh, now that I don't have the Thrissa, I'm not gonna pronounce it correctly. I don't have that power anymore, to be like, oh yeah, I don't remember anything from the point that I had that power to now. Still not a great decision, because it's like, now you don't have to fix your problems, because you're like, oh, I didn't do any of those things. It does give some excuse for I can leave and I don't have to clean up my problems. Was his name not Joe before? Yeah, no, that's what I was saying. I was like, now that we don't have our power, are we going to be able to control this group of people that we have treated poorly and also has some power and authority of their own? Oh yeah, someone's gonna not let you just walk away, probably. I was wondering when he was gonna show up, because before he's, oh my goodness, I should go, because there's still some stuff with Heljo. I should leave. Are we gonna hang out? Just bros being bros? Definitely no flower petals around. I'm sorry, but not. I feel like everyone gets to have their own, like, interpretation of the story, and I'm just saying, it would be cute. Yeah, we're crashing out a little bit, though. I do think, like, it says a lot that you weren't there when I was suffering the most, being like, you left, which I was already thinking was gonna be an issue with like Urek just like showing up and being like, maybe I can talk to him, and I'm like, yeah, but you did drop him into the middle of leaving him in the floor of death with all of its problems. Maybe you gave him some power beforehand, right? But you didn't stick around for him to figure out how to use it or to set up any of the things that he wanted to do. You dipped, and then you only came back now. It's been a minute, right? And I get that, like, Urek being on this floor is a complicated thing, right? But still, from the perspective of Joe, it must be this, like, betrayal of, I struggled so much. I went through this failure that felt like I was losing what I had even set out to do, right? Like, this dream that I had, this, like, optimism was taken from me. And I had this voice speaking in my head that was like, oh, we're not alone, we're together. And you weren't there until you took away that coping mechanism in some ways, right? It's not just the power. It's like that feeling of I wasn't ever alone because there was some other entity with me, and you took that from me. So it's twice the abandonment with just Urek. Oh my goodness, we're getting heated. We gotta censor things. I don't know. Saying I'm sorry, good step, right? To get an apology at all. I feel like there's some other things that we're upset about, though. Another person telling him to snap out of it, wake up. I think that's the problem, right? Again, it was like the wake up that we got from Hockney of you're living in a dream. You're seeing the world through this like warped way of looking at it. And what you need to do is see reality for what it is and start from there. And here you're just able to see what the world is actually like and what you've created. Right? Like dealing with the guilt of you can actually see what you've become and how your actions have impacted this place and yourself. Yeah, this is who you actually are, which is like without that power, just like everybody else. And having to deal with that. I also hate that my brain was like, Rachel, take notes. Forever salty. You're going to have to deal with the fact that this is who you are. And these are the things that you did and the ramifications of those. I like that it's no big deal. It's a little bit of a big deal. You did pick fights with some powerful people that was probably not the smartest. Starting over again is tricky, though. Oh, I feel bad for him. Again, he did a lot of terrible things, but it's like, it's one thing to be like, you can just do it again. And it's, you can't just start over. There's still always everything that he did, right? Like, he can't just like erase that, even if I don't remember anything. He can't actually erase the impact that he had. Yeah. I don't know, I feel like Urek has his own story. Because Urek had the whole, like, the reason he even started talking with Joe and, like, they connected was that he was like, I could see some of myself in him. I'm assuming there's some more backstory. And we're a little bitter too, to be like, even when he was at his most powerful, he could not compete with Urek's power, right? Not only did Urek like take that power from him, but he also broke the illusion of Heljo regarding himself as a god, right? Because in the face of Urek, he wasn't even close, right? So even if he got that power back, he would still know that there were people who could just were leaps and bounds more powerful than him, let alone now. Is this because of the souls? Because we were messing with the spirit room and it feels a little bit, yeah, like we're disintegrating. That's fine. I'm sorry, I just read the impressive, very impressive, and my brain was like, Darth Vader. I know it's impressive, most impressive, but my brain immediately. I've heard a villain say that. You're not a Jedi yet. It's fine. Oh, that's not terrifying. While we're laughing maniacally, are we also dissipating? Oh, he lied and manipulated you to get to what he wanted? He never does that. I can't get over it. She's just still floating like head. Something. My fish brain is, ooh, lights. And I get the angelic imagery and all of that. Especially when we're dealing with Heljo, floor of death, right? There's a bunch there. I feel like we're going like fallen angel though. I feel like he's a little more like morning star than angelic being. Though to be fair, if we're going with like end of the world biblical imagery, we also have to deal with, what is it, Michael who has the flaming sword? Which is still scary. Not to get a little revelations, but which man? Urek? Another man? I feel like the fact that we said that man means it's someone I don't know yet. Ooh, that doesn't seem good. Are we alive? Could we be revived? It feels a little bit like everybody just died simultaneously. Probably because their souls got eaten. Can we get them back? Ooh, he's gonna be mad. Uh-oh. Remember when we were like, Urek is really powerful and he's not even trying? And then White was like, I was worshipped as a god. Are we gonna have I shouldn't be getting giddy because it'll probably be bad for everybody involved in the peripheral. Are we gonna have an Urek White showdown? Because that would be wild and a little bit exciting. Of course, that's where we're gonna stop. I feel like there's gonna be a showdown. I'm so stressed. I'm like, did we die? Or are we just out of commission because our soul is gone? Which I know, I guess, isn't how it entirely works in this universe. Look, magic, crazy powers. This is a person. Like, I'm suspending my disbelief for the sake of reading a piece of fiction. I am very scared about you, though. I don't love that you seem a lot more like White now with the like the crown and the sword. Again, it's giving some angelic god power stuff. Is it because we know about Urek or just generally? Yeah. Okay, I was gonna be like, because he seemed like he might be taking this personally. And given what we've already seen as a display of his strength when he was trying to hold back, like I'm trying to keep that in mind. There was crazy scale with watching Urek fight against Heljo, and he was trying not to hurt him because I understand that Joe is still in there somewhere and that is not who I'm trying to hurt. So I just feel like this is gonna be a bad time if he's just gloves are off. We saw like a little bit of that at the end of that fight. It was a little bit of a beheading, so I just feel like maybe we don't pick this fight, or do. I guess I don't actually entirely care about the health and safety of White, so maybe it would work out for us if we could just get someone else to take care of that problem. I don't know. White doesn't seem like a running away type of person, but they do like being strong. Seems that was a non-committal. Yeah, this seems like we're gonna take this personally. With the light on the eyes as well, is like a good little touch there. Yeah, there were some souls being absorbed. A whole room of souls. It's a lot. Are we gonna tell him where that is? Because I would like to deal with whatever that was. Not entirely. It's complicated. Look, White is his own thing, except when he can benefit from other people. The casual, just like all of the corpses. Yeah, I feel like maybe we should reel in Urek a little bit. I don't know if it'll work out if he sees White, though. That's my question. Are we dead, or are we just vessels without a soul? Which again is not, like, it's mostly dead, but not entirely dead in this universe. No! You can't have him. I like him so much. You can't take another one from me, okay? I don't have Rock. I don't have Oryang. You cannot take another one from me. I refuse. No one can get Kun. He's too much survival instinct in that one. Ooh, the like even my eyes have stopped seeing. I was gonna say because the like rulers, right? How are they affected? Did we see any of them? Oof, that like bead of sweat of like, uh-oh. Come on, guys, put the pieces together. Who do we know would benefit from messing around with a room full of spirits? Y'all know this. I like that we're communicating, though. How many times have we not been able to communicate? I'm like, y'all need to coordinate between all of the groups. Are we reining in Urek? I don't know. Maybe this will get him on our side. I'm like, what? If White ends up deciding to leave, which I'm like, could happen. Because it depends. Like, one, don't frame it as running away, because I feel like there's some pride that might be hurt with that one. But I think if you phrase it as, is it worth the, like, hassle of dealing with Urek right now? Is that what you want to be focused on? I feel like that might convince White to just leave. And if that happens, maybe we can have him on our side? Like, more common goal? Karaka's only kind of there. It's White that you gotta be worried about. We can't see the future anymore. We don't even have a slight advantage. We don't have Hockney to back us up. I'm like a little bit with her on the, maybe we can just let Urek do it. One, because I think he might be more capable of it in terms of like power level and training and like understanding of how his powers work. And two, I feel like maybe we don't want to be near it. I feel like maybe we don't want to be anywhere near that fight if it starts. Yeah, I mean, for now, we're all working together. Being with Yuri, Lady Yuri, show my respect where it is due. Okay, we're all teaming up. We're all on the same side. Good. I like the working together, the communicating. Honestly, do I care about Rachel? No, but I feel like Bodo deserves the break. He's like the only one through all of this madness who's, this is crazy. Why are we doing this? He did not sign up for this, all right? He did a little bit because of the backstory with Hell Train and everything, but he's like, no, this is a lot. I feel like him staying behind might be good for his health. It was like, I feel like we would also be affected by everything. And I'm assuming that's why the Hockney's eyes can't see the future anymore. Ooh. Did we like fully run away though? I guess because that's like the portal and everything. I wonder if some of it is just interacting with White though. Did he just start taking people out or whatever? Because like, again, he might be like, you're a nuisance, you're in my way. Don't act like you cared about the other guys that came here. I'm calling BS on that one. You had plans, and it was just like a way of convincing everyone to be on your side about it. I also don't trust a gesture of gratitude from Fook of any kind. We are seeing her actual visible eye, though, which makes me inclined to believe that at least she's saying what she thinks is true. Yeah, he wants to hunt them down. Also, I feel like if he knows how to get to them, I think that he will find a way. So you're like, you need to speed up. He'd be like, I will. Yeah, he's on a vendetta, and I think the best thing we can do is not be in his way. You know what I mean? Like, I think that we just stay out of between him and White and the vendetta he's on. I just back up. Wild to just be like, I wanted to try and fight Urek. Just wanted to see what happened. I don't like the idea of you getting your clones back and everything too, though. I think it's a good point to be like, one, like the emotional control, some of that might be come from like the souls. I think some of that might be like, there's a little bit of a persona to White when it comes to some of the like unhinged moments, because we've seen other little points with him throughout the story where we can see him being strategic, where we can see him calmly like assessing what's going on, even though I do think there's some pride that gets in the way of decision making sometimes for him. I think ultimately he is a lot better at assessing what's going on than he might present, because it's strategic for people to not fully know what he's going to do or what he's capable of, and there's some like control through like fear, and when someone acts spontaneously it can make people more cautious around them. But I think also you're talking about someone who has literally been split up into multiple pieces, probably not the most stable, and I think the more that he also spends not being imprisoned probably is also helping him calm down and be more in like control of what he's thinking and feeling. I guess they would both know about it, wouldn't they, with Karaka there? Okay, so if we're taking the slower route, then we might be able to catch up with them if we take the more direct path. And do we know? I feel like you're trying to outsmart her, and Hwarin just seems like someone you can't outmaneuver, especially when it comes to finding your way to stuff. That's her thing. So I don't know. I feel like she might be more aware of what's going on than you give her credit. See, I'm like, there's more assessment to him than I think he gets credit for. I don't like them teaming up, though. That makes me very uncomfortable. Oh, hello. Again. Are we gonna be able to figure out that there's all the souls there? Are we gonna freak out a little bit? That there's more going on? Oh, are we not actually there. We were just like in this stance unbothered when everything went down. Fair enough. Oh no, it's like stone. Yeah, there's a lot going on. I feel like there might be more like mechanics to this that are set up. I do love the design, like very, again, angelic, not just because of the wings and white and everything, but I just think of the more like biblical descriptions of angels. Obviously, there's significantly less eyes involved with this one. Though interesting with Heljo's design to have more of the like eyes and stuff on it. I don't know if I brought that up at any point, but I just think of the more like biblical descriptions of angels where the wings are like very imposing. I like that in this design because they're again like more like magical elements involved with it, that you can have the wings taking up more space, and there's so much scale to this environment that I like that they can like fluctuate as opposed to being something that is actually attached to white and like the character design, right, where you have to navigate how do we have this character be in certain spaces right, if they also have wings, right? You usually, if you have a character that has wings as part of their design, you have to scale them down because you have to have them fit into the scenes properly and not have it be like a nuisance. Whereas I think because of the nature of white and his character and like the wings blending in with that design, I like that you can play with the scale a bit more with them. I mean, he's very like statuesque. Yeah, who set everything up? I assume like workshop, because I'm like, they're having deals with everything. If something weird's going on with technology and designs, I'm like, I bet it was you. Speed running a little bit. Ooh, that's cool. I like having the blur on white because he's the one in motion, and then having the like proximity of the two, the like darker shadows versus the light hitting on white and the shadows behind him. Excellent. Ooh, I like how there's this almost like respect that you kind of show, and I love that we're playing again with this being like a scrolling story of the praise, the kind of respect that you would get towards someone who is like dead or resting or whatever, right? And then to end with puppet, right? To like instantly take that away of, especially from a character like White, to put weight behind like respect and the way that we treat the dead, right? For a character like White, who not only definitely has a god complex, but also literally uses souls as a way of giving himself power, right? That obviously having respect for the dead would not fit with his character and the way that he like sees the world, right? I love flipping that of like a show of respect. I was kind of like, that's weird. I don't feel like White would show anyone this praise and respect, but to have it end with the like puppet of a tool, right? Something that you're just using to get what you want, and ends to the means. And that is very in line with who White is, of like your soul only matters to him because he can use it. Excellent, like little character moment. Are we taking him out though? The gatekeeper? I don't know. Are we gonna make it? Because did we take the shorter path? This is all going very fast, which like again is within the actual timeline of everything. They're moving, they're getting out of here. And we're looking over our shoulder. Don't worry about it. She unfortunately is difficult to get rid of. I don't know if we were noticing someone behind us or what. Whom's interfering? Oh, the person who's setting up a bunch of this. Uh-oh. I'm like, first off, looking at White in its current state and being like a pretty bug, already wild. Do we know who it is? I don't know. I want to know who the figure is. Who are we fighting? I'm trying to think if I would know who it was. It's a wild like image right now. Like, it's just scary. We like, are we threatening? Evan's just hanging out. He's just trying to keep up with the madness. Yeah, Evan has seen some things that he's just, I couldn't tell anyone. We'd all be in trouble. True. We also would not want to pick a fight with Urek, especially in his current state of mind. I don't know if that would go well for anyone. At the moment, he can still be reasoned with to some extent of, hey, let's not pick a fight right now. Let's like rein in some of what we're feeling and channel it where it should be. I feel like if we start to take away other people that he has decided he's the protector of and that he cares about, it would probably end poorly for everyone. I was gonna say, do we have a chainsaw? Is that what we're doing? Are we threatening him with a chainsaw? Because that's a wild thing to do. Evan is literally just trying to survive in all of the absolute chaos around him. Yes, someone powerful that might have set up a bunch of mechanics for this floor and who was just like a mysterious floating shadow. Yeah, someone who was like looked at White and was like, that's a bug. Yeah, I was gonna say, is it the guy that took out the administrator? I can't remember his name right now. I'm overwhelmed with like excitement, anxiety. That would make sense though if he set up like the gatekeepers and everything, like he set up how the system works on the floor. if it was going to be anyone. Yeah, I don't like that you're freaked out. I'm freaked out. Is it the red-haired guy? Very interesting to point out his father, who we've seen in like the flashbacks and everything. We've seen you before in other stuff. I was gonna say, is it the same guy who took out the administrator before, or is it just the person that we saw? Was it connected to workshop battle, like all the way at the beginning? Because there was other people going on with that. Yeah. Okay, so we got one of the 10 family leaders, which stresses me out. It's fine. It's fine. We're fine. Everything's fine. Remember when I was like, it feels like a bunch of really powerful people are all coming together here? I'm not stressed. You're stressed. Is it Enru that I was thinking of? The one who was like the red-haired guy who was involved with everything with the floor of death. My brain is all over the place after this, but no, is he? I'm thinking of when we were talking on like the radio, right? There was the call with the guy who was in charge, not the penguin from Batman, but the guy who we were gonna trade the ladle to. He was talking to someone on the radio, and wasn't it one of the families? And wasn't it this guy with the glasses? Or was it maybe later? I don't know. I feel like we've seen him before though. I feel like he's come up and I just can't put my finger on like where and when. But I feel like dealing with one of the leaders of the families is gonna be a bad time for everyone. I feel like this is getting more complicated. I feel like there are a lot of powerful people here and the rules don't apply the same way and we're getting attention. And also there are some vendettas, right? Some people with some strong emotions and feelings about what's going on. And I'm just nervous. I'm nervous about White. And then I was like, this is going to be terrible for all of us. And then we have this, I don't know, escalation that's happening now. I'm like, wait, can we deal with one super powerful person at a time who makes me nervous before we deal with other things? Remember when they were like, we need to run away from Urek? I'm like, how'd that work out for you though? They're like, we can't fight him, he's too powerful. And I'm like, y'all drew attention to yourselves anyway, so I'm stressed but excited but stressed. Maybe again, I feel like at least with Urek we can convince him to be on our side, or at least to be against the families and Jihad and Tower and stuff, right? Like at least he's like rebellious enough that we're like, we're gonna do something that's technically against the rules. He'd be like, cool, let's shake things up. Whereas for people who are part of the families, who are leaders of the families, right, and who benefit greatly from the systems working the way that they are, I don't think we're gonna have that. So it just makes me nervous. And also, what are we scheming that we're like involved in all of this, right? Something else to be stressed about. It's fine. But I hope you enjoyed reading that along with me. You can click this place to go to my previous reactions, or you can subscribe so next time I post a Tower of God reaction. I will see you in the next video. Bye.